right now they are over influenced by occult. So
Occult.
so I think you have interdimensional intelligence, which is operating demonic intelligence.
Interdimensional demonic
Intelligence.
intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this thing about good and evil is real. And I can't find it anymore. I found it once. There were in the 30s a British physicist got up and said, we are being manipulated but from other dimensions by intelligent beings from other dimensions. So I think, if you study Christianity and you read the Bible, you're dealing with both divine intelligence and demonic intelligence. And I think too much of the leadership has gotten deeply involved in the occult and demonic kinds of intelligence.
Wow.
All right, dude. So, you just saw that, right? Now, just what she was saying, I've kind of talked about in the past, right? Now, who is she? That is Catherine Fitz, and she was an investment banker, did a good job doing that, and eventually got hired on to work under the George H.W. Bush administration, serving as a assistant secretary. What was her title? I think it was Assistant Secretary of Urban Housing and Development. And, so she was pretty deep into that whole world. She was around the White House a lot, and politicians, and all of those players in that game. So, from what she's seen and whatever, her experiences in life and everything, I guess, she's come to that conclusion. And, well, she's right. And it's kind of funny. I want to get into a couple different things with this because why do you think there's so much going on, dude, with UFO disclosure? And, I think it even ties into the whole Epstein list and everything that's happening there and why they don't want to release certain things. So, why do you think when the whole UFO disclosure team goes into Congress and they're talking about a bunch of stuff and talking about shit and they're like trying to explain things and they're talking about non-biologics and they're like non-human entities and all of this type of stuff, it seems like they know stuff, right? But they aren't telling you exactly what it is. That's literally what's happening, right? And, well, that's the reason. Because they do know what's happening. It is connected with all of humanity, but the politicians, people of the government, elites, Hollywood, media, a lot of them at the top of the top are all... A lot of them are aware of it, and then a lot of them actually do things to help it and feed into it. And, I guess when you're trying to explain it to people, the public at least, and they've done it to themselves, which, that's why, they have no... They're trying to figure out how to explain to everybody that, aliens do live among all of us, and they're, living amongst humanity, and they're interdimensional beings that don't quite have a physical form, but influence people in very strange ways. on the base level, but in even more strange ways in alternate dimensions. So, with grays, with like UFOs and stuff, honestly, they call them off-world craft, and they say they're made by non-human intelligence, right? Well, what they mean by off-world, because I don't think, I mean, maybe some millions of light years away, maybe there's like some alien life, but all of the stuff that's happening to Earth with the aliens that they're talking about is of this world, but just a layer away. So, the Greys, I think it gets to a certain point in the future where, because AI is part of this too, I think it gets to a certain point in the future where we become more aware, everybody, of what's happening and what alien actually is. And even in Congress they'll talk about it. We have to like rethink what being alive even means and what consciousness actually is. I think it gets to a point in the future, basically, that we are able to basically sync up with a combination of AI and these interdimensional beings, and we're at like such a level of awareness or consciousness or technological advancement that we're able to kind of manipulate time and not quite be stuck in a linear path of time the way it usually is. And so, I mean, yeah, I guess in some weird part of the future we are creating, well, not even us, right? Like I said, a combination of all these things, which at a certain point, yeah, it'll probably get to where it's not completely human anymore. But we use all of this, and AI probably helps out a lot to build these crafts and like do these different things. And I'm sure the interdimensional aliens as well are giving us ideas and telling us how we should do certain things to make it work properly. And so when we, and like I've said in the past too, a gray is not like a typical being that comes out of the world naturally. It's a synthetic suit. And those interdimensional beings, I think, part of that and part of what we're already tapping into is able to get transferred inside of those grays. And then, because it might be still difficult to take like a complete human and put them back through this weird structure of time that we figured out. So what do? We make a synthetic vessel, and then we just put consciousness into it, and then send it back through time, back to where we actually see it here. And I mean, honestly, it might be. Because, I mean, dude, the only reason, like, literally, I might be a little bit off, but this is, like, honestly, the most classified shit that they talk about in these closed rooms and behind closed doors inside the government and agencies and shit. But the only reason I can talk about it is because they have set it up in such a way where they've been trying to lie and dissuade ideas about UFOs and make everybody sound so crazy, and the whole thing just sounds like a hoax. So I can come on here and actually tell the truth, and everybody can just say, it's just a hoax, whatever. And the only reason I know a lot of this is because I'm actually an experiencer, you know? I've never seen a UFO, never seen a gray, but I've seen I've seen the interdimensional ones. And I've seen I've not only seen them, I've seen them see me observing them. And that really freaks them the fuck out, dude. Really. When you can get to that place where you not only know what you're looking at, but you know that the thing you're looking at is aware that it's being observed by you, and you're still pretty chill and cool about it, and you actually are kind of pissed off at them because you see all the stupid fucking bullshit, manipulation, and trying to manipulate your free will and, like, fuck with reality in very strange ways. So when you get to that point, they don't like it. It makes them real uncomfortable, but pretty fun. So, and like I was saying too, I honestly think a big deal of all of this is actually tying into the whole Epstein thing and why they're, like, going back on a bunch of stuff and, like, saying we have this and now we don't, and he's in the file and there's no list, there is no file. No, there is files. There's because they are all using this whole thing too. The reason that they're doing all the abuse and using all these victims that they are is because that's what, there's a good side of these interdimensional beings and there's a demonic bad side of them. And the government, most of the politicians, a bunch of them have been knowingly working in the demonic side of things. And abuse, especially of young victims who are pure and innocent, when they elicit certain emotions from them, fear, it's like a charge of electricity. And it's like fuel for these interdimensional things. And it's like you at the base level participating in those acts is like lowering your vibrations so much so that it's like giving the interdimensional forces more power of, like, feeling. It lets them almost, like, inhabit your body basically and experience feeling more alive in a way. And if they keep doing this and keep doing this, it's like this vicious cycle that keeps feeding into everything. But it's kind of like this big club. And they've been doing it for so long. And it's worked out, I guess, pretty well for them in some sense of the word, I guess. As far as, like, money and power and control goes. So I think that's why a lot of the bullshit is going on with the whole Epstein situation, because I think a lot of this is actually tied into disclosure of aliens and UFOs and all of this type of shit. And I think if they release too much, it might reveal too much, honestly. Because what else could it... I mean, we already know they're sick pedophile fucks. We know that they were doing all of this stuff with Jeffrey Epstein. We know basically every politician is involved in it. So what's left? And we know even if you release the shit, you probably wouldn't arrest them. So what's the issue? We already know, right? That's where this comes in. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how the future pans out, huh? Cool. Not really, but, you know, vibes. Fuck them all, dude. Bunch of bitches, dude. I'm gonna end it. I'm ending it there, dude. Alright, cool. Take it easy, guys. Grizzly Martian out. Peace.